25 years ago, American farmers faced a crisis the likes of which hadn't been seen since the Great Depression. The good times of the 1970s had given way to low crop prices, falling land values, high interest rates, and mountains of debt in the 80s. For many farm families, the situation was dire.
But I know I deserve some support because I have fed a world of people in 52 years.
In 1985, Willie Nelson called on his friends in music to organize a groundbreaking concert called Farm Aid to help a struggling rural America.
I had heard some rumors in Texas about some of the farmers and ranchers having a rough time, and I asked some of my friends around who were ranchers, farmers, and they said, well, it's really bad in the Midwest. It hadn't really got that bad here yet, but it's on the way. So we started talking about what we might do and call some attention to it and see if we could help the situation in some way. And so we did.
Thank you all very much, and welcome to Farm Aid, the concert for America.
The first Farm Aid took place in Champaign, Illinois, on a rainy day in September of 1985. Along with help from fellow founding members John Mellencamp and Neil Young, Nelson put the concert together in just a few weeks.
Train a-coming, it's rolling around the bend.
All told, 54 acts appeared before a crowd of 78,000 people, making the first Farm Aid the largest combined country and rock concert in U.S. history. It sparked a movement that continues to this day, and from it came the Farm Aid organization, which works year-round to help America's family farmers. Carolyn Mugar has been Farm Aid's executive director since the beginning.
I don't think anybody could dip their foot into this without feel how fortunate they are to work with the people in the countryside that we work with. It's an extraordinary experience.
Hello, wherever you are, whoever you are, thank you for joining us at Farm Aid tonight.
Farm Aid celebrated its 25th anniversary in Milwaukee, Wisconsin last year. More than 35,000 fans filled Miller Park, home of the Brewers baseball team, on Saturday, October 2nd, to mark the historic event.
When the walls come crumbling down.
While the music at Farm Aid is the main attraction, concert days offer much more.
You folks here showed up on a cold day to help us support the family farmers. We showed up. This is what we need to be doing, and we need to keep doing it until somebody pays attention to us. And they will eventually, because we're not going anywhere.
The day begins with the Farm Aid press conference. It's described by staff as part pep rally and part teach-in. Artists and farmers challenge the nation's leaders and all Americans to take action.
In this big industrial farm era, if people are producing food for us with the sole goal of making money, and as much money as they can, and cut as many corners as they can, how can we assume as a society that they're going to produce the best food they can?
As we sit here today, we're losing farmland and we're losing our rural farmers, and we have to protect them, and a lot of them are in the crowd here today.
As the family farmer goes America.
What do we deserve? We deserve clean food. How can we get clean food? By looking for it.
Wisconsin was chosen as the host state in part to draw attention to issues facing the dairy industry. For nearly 2 years, producers have been paid prices as little as half the cost of production. According to Farm Aid officials, family dairy farmers have lost upwards of $200 per month during the crisis on each cow they own, while the largest dairy processors have enjoyed record profits.
12,500 100-cow dairies is fundamentally different than 255,000 cow dairies, and you can't tell me otherwise. So we really need to work on this.
Well, don't forget to put your email on those when you turn it in, then they draw your name out.
Another key feature of Farm Aid is the Homegrown Village, where concert goers can meet family farmers and learn about the roots of their food. Last year's Homegrown Village was bigger than ever, featuring more than 40 interactive exhibits from Wisconsin and various farm, food, and environmental organizations.
The last 4 years, we've been having what's called homegrown concessions. And we've turned the food at the venue, at the place where we're having the concert, into food that is either locally grown, organically grown, humanely raised, any number of those qualifications. And that's what the food at these venues is.
Chop for the ham steak.
All right, okay, pork chop.
We are the first local food vendor at Farm Aid, and so we'd like to think that we played, some small role in Farm Aid moving toward this local food, type of venue. And I think it's really important because lots of times we put, local family farm food into a little box, and there are certain places you can get it. You can get it at farmers markets, you can get it at local food grocery stores, and those are great, and we should support those efforts. But, Farm Aid really took on a venue that really, I would say, nobody thought could be done, and said, no, concert venues can be farmer-friendly, consumer-friendly, and you can hear some good music and you can eat some good, healthy food at a concert, and I think they're demonstrating that every year more and more.
Find something good to grow. Farmer working on the ground, yeah, homegrown's all right with me. Homegrown is the way it should be. Homegrown is a good thing. Plant that bell and let it ring. Willie!
For more than 2 decades, the concerts have been held all across the country, from the heartland to the deep south, and from the west coast to the eastern shores. Likewise, Farm Aid's artists come from all over the musical map. Last year's lineup included Amos Lee, Band of Horses, Jamie Johnson, Jason Mraz, Lucas Nelson and the Promise of the Real, and Jeff Tweedy. The headliners were first-time Farm Aid performer Nora Jones, Kenny Chesney, Dave Matthews, Neil Young, John Mellencamp, and of course, Willie Nelson.
You can leave me a tip if you can, because I'm a shooting star.
Every artist donates his or her performance and travel expenses to Farm Aid. 25 years after making its inaugural benefit, Farm Aid officials say there is still much to be done. The organization has grown to a staff of 9 along with its board of directors, including Nelson, Mellencamp, Young, and Matthews, who joined in 2001.
I don't know, I'm about half stubborn, I guess, and when I start something, I don't like to quit it, and I'm glad to see the Farm Aid organization feels the same way. Those guys over there are tough, and they fight the fight every day, here and there, all over the farm industry with the big guys and the little guys. And it's important that we stay with it because there's a lot of opposition to it from powerful people.
Next week, we'll examine the economic impact of Farm Aid. From Market to Market, I'm Laurel Bauer-Bergmeyer.
Now here, take it.